Get your sights yet?
I have my sights for, well, since Monday, I think.
Oh.
Front one's on, the rear one's on.
Nice. Still haven't tested them yet, though?
No, it's the holiday season and I'm broke.
Yep.
Yeah, not too many people know this, and I prefer to keep it off air. I'm actually moving, so.
Well, we're live.
Oh, okay.
You only told one person so far.
Oh, well, they'll hear it anyway. Yeah, I'm planning on moving, so all my money right now is going to a lot of other things than guns.
It's cool, man. Priorities.
Yep. My aunt's having a hard time where she lives, and going down there once a month is not helping me out all that much, so needs to be there. I mean, she's been getting help from my cousin who's in his late 60s. My aunt's in her late 80s. Still living at home, but just keeping up with all the maintenance on the house and stuff, and trying to do stuff when I can, so.
Very good.
So heading back to her area. Yeah, I'm not seeing the Weird Al at all, so.
Let me see.
Yeah, his last video was 3 months ago. This was somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else might have posted it from Instagram.
I'll check Instagram. It's not that hard.
Behold, the mysterious floating orb.
Oh, it was on time. I don't know.
Ooh. Ah!
That's hilarious.
All right, subscribe to. I can't see my shit. My screen, rather. I can see my shit.
Yeah, I just watched it. Yeah, so.
Oh, you subscribed to this one?
I don't subscribe to anybody on Instagram.
Oh, this is YouTube.
Oh, that's on YouTube?
He's got a different channel, I guess.
Oh, it's just Ali Yankovic? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll subscribe to that one later. Why does CDNN have to keep posting this stuff?
What are they getting now?
1022 with the factory installed laser for $200.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I still don't know what to think about those 1022s with the built-in laser on the stock.
An 870 tactical for $345, which is just a freaking ugly shotgun. See if they're showing anything else. Decent, let's see. $900 for the Remington 1911 R1 limited edition Centennial.
What? How much?
900.
Oh, that's not bad. I thought you said 1900.
EAA polymer witness 9mm 16 rounds for $240. I wouldn't buy an EAA just because I've seen what they've done to the revolvers and they're quite rough.
Their CZ clones are alright, I guess. Haven't heard too much bad about them besides like Ibomi's recoil spring problem with 10mm.
Got a
I
couple
don't-
of couple of H&Ks in here. An H&K VP9, which is 570. An H&K 45 Tactical, which is 950.
IWI is bringing out the Baby Eagle again, but they're doing it all themselves this time, and it's called the Jericho 941. It's going to be chambered in 9, 40, and 45. That's pretty cool. Steel frames and polymer frames.
Yep. Yeah, putting that rear sight on was a bitch.
Would you use a punch in your vise?
Yeah, I used a punch and a vise, but it was just, because it's got this little, I don't call it a lip, that popped up, which is, fits the PPS just fine, but the PPX, it has to be shaved off. Because, it just will not fit in the PPX with that on there, no matter what you do. It's kind of like if you look at the rear of the rear sight, there's a little, L shape, for the dovetail.
Yeah.
And it has to be from go from a uppercase to a lowercase L.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, so I'm trying to the Dremel was a little too much, so I was using a file.
Yeah.
The Dremel was just I tried with the Dremel, but it was just kicking too much, even on the lowest setting. So I think I spent like 2 hours with the frickin' file, just carefully doing and seeing if I could get it to fit in the rear.
Yeah,
So I finally got
sometimes
it in.
sometimes things need fitting. I didn't think the sights would, but
Yeah, these sights were originally designed for the PPS, but they do work for the PPX, specifically the front one. The rear one needs work, though.
you're not like changing the height of the rear sight, are you?
No, they're pretty close to original. They might be, like a 1/10 of a millimeter difference or something like that in height.
That's not bad.
No.
You just have a different point of impact than when you first shot it, I think.
Yeah. And I have to make sure it's all set. I mean, I just have it in there right now without any kind of Loctite. They had the factory sights are basically Loctited in with, 609, the red Loctite. So getting that thing to pop out was another pain in the butt. Started using a brass punch, and the brass punch just broke. So I actually had to go to a steel punch to get that out. But I got him in. I think I've got him fairly well centered. I've only got a ruler that does millimeters, nothing less than that. So I'm like, yeah, it looks about right on each side.
Fistful of Polymer is going to appendix carry a Smith & Wesson shield. Just thought I'd announce that to the world.
Who's gonna appendix carry a shield?
Fistful of Polymer, Steve.
Ah,
I thought those little guns were better for 4 o'clock.
oh, they're just better for sticking in your hoodie pocket.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
You know, I carry the PPX right at about 3:30, 4 o'clock. Closer to 3:30, I think.
So, Iraqi vet's new video, he shoots a 45 through the windshield.
Oh yeah, I watched that today.
I didn't see it yet. I'm just looking at Robbie mention it in the chat.
It was a long video. I actually sat through the whole thing because I was doing other stuff as I was listening to it.
I mean, it didn't bounce off, and it's crazy.
Well, he's using all hollow points.
Oh, yeah. I can see it can happen.
Yeah.
But I don't see it happening.
Yeah,
Like
except
every
for
time.
Yeah, I think a lot of channels were given Lehigh ammo because I saw this is like the 4th channel I've seen use Lehigh. You know, different versions of Lehigh ammo.
Yeah.
So I think Lehigh is out there going, oh, these are big channels. Let's get them some ammo to test with. But I was saying, you know, I definitely want to see more testing done of the one that basically looks like frickin' helicopter blades when it opens up. Huge.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that looks like impressive ammo, and I can't remember what they call that. I'm not going to go look.
I forget what the one Edge has a picture of is.
The Black Talon? No, it's a Ranger.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that was a Ranger. But this actually looks like it opens up in 4 petals. You know, it looks like a big, giant plus sign. I mean, it's huge.
Oh, okay.
I'll see if I can find it. If I can even spell Lehigh Defense right.
My dad's neighbor has a bunch of junker cars in his yard. You should just shoot them. Shoot the windshields. Be like, oops, I ran over a rock with the lawnmower.
Yeah, it's called Maximum Expansion Handgun Ammunition. They actually probably want to come up with a better name. But I'll put the link in both the external and the internal. You can see the pictures of this ammo.
Maximum expansion. Oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, isn't it? You know, I'm looking at this picture. It kind of reminds me of those tank stoppers that they used in World War II. You know, like on the beaches on D-Day.
Yeah. Can bury him halfway in the sand. Take a picture.
Yeah, but isn't that crazy looking ammo?
Yeah. I want some. Maximum expansion is what it's called.
Yeah.
It's kind of light, 9mm, 105 grain.
They've got actually 70 grain and 105 grain.
But I guess it's kind of hollow to expand that much, like the what is that other shit? Liberty, but with cuts in it.
Yeah, it looks like Liberty. It's copper, if I remember correctly. It's all, you know, solid copper. I don't think there's any lead. There we go. It's produced from powdered metal.
MIM bullets.
Yeah. This is the stats on the 9 because that's what I'm interested in. The 70 grain is 1,425 feet per second. Out of a 3-inch barrel and out of a 4-inch, it's 1,650 feet per second. OAL is 1.060 inches. Penetration is 10 inches. And expansion is 0.66 inches. I don't know what OAL stands for, though. But yeah, that's going pretty good, you know. Out of my barrel, it'd be going, you know, probably 1,600 feet per second.
Did it say the speed on them? Let's see. I didn't actually click on any of the rounds. Let's see. 38 special.
The expansion's 0.82 on that one. I'm just trying to figure out the difference between the...
The only one that's sold out are the 45s.
Well, that's because they probably saw the video today and went out and bought it.
Yeah.
The 105 grain, although it's a slower bullet, you know, they only give one measurement. They don't say what length barrel, but, you know, 1,050 feet per second. It's almost got an inch in expansion. It's 0.82.
Yeah, that's nice. That's crazy. They're like windmills. Little metal windmills flying at you.
No, that's a regular bullet. It's flying at you, but as soon as it hits
yeah,
you...
no. So the 45 leaves the barrel at 1,000 feet per second. It's not bad.
Yeah, I was wondering why 38 special was only $19, and then I realized it was a box of 12.
So you can load a six-shot revolver twice. They're thinking, doing the math for you.
Pretty much, but you know, at that point, I'd rather have 38 myself. Or not 38, 357.
Right, like, what if I had my LCRX and it only had chambers 5? I got these 2 extra bullets. What am I going to do with them?
Practice with them? Well, that's a nice thing about revolvers. You can basically, you know, throw them in the cylinder and take them out whenever you want to play around with your gun. You know, and not have to worry about having to replace the bullets as often. Yeah. I like this. They only charge $5 for shipping. So for 38 bucks, you can get a box of, like, you know, 9mm. For 33 bucks, you can get a box of 380.
It's not as obnoxious looking as the rest of the RIP ammo and
Yep.
Liberty.
Yeah, the 380s only penetrate 7 inches though. For the S&W out there for you, G-Webs is 38 bucks.
I'll be right back.
Interesting ammo though. Lehigh Defense needs to send some of us. Chatter is some boxes, and we'll test it out for them. And then we'll do a chat specifically about your ammo, how we liked it and how we didn't.
We should convince ammo companies that gun channels is like, yeah, I got 45. Get like ammo.
Pretty much. I'm actually gonna go to YouTube, see how many videos are out on this. Because I know, I know that I can't remember who was doing the other. Who the other channel is doing it? I'm like,
Ammo channels.
yeah, the other ammo channels. Well, Twang and Bang did one too. I mean, there are a lot of videos from like 1 year and 2 years ago.
Oh, so it's been around a while.
Yep, shooting the bull, 410. I just noticed that some of these are people I've watched before, and some I can't even pronounce their names. Lehigh Defense, of course. That's just for the maximum expansion. That's one Lehigh maximum. Chaos. 3-1 on Clarity did a video. There you go. I like this channel name, Guns and Bacon.
You'd think that would blow up pretty fast, huh? Guns and Bacon. How many subscribers?
No clue. I'll check.
I'm gonna make guns and chocolate covered bacon.
31 subs.
Uh,
Fate of Destiny did a video on it. Well, just on Lehigh Defense Ammunition.
You'd think that they have like a certain obligation to tell us the truth about this shit, so. But I don't know.
I'll just go look at some of the, the other videos just because I'm curious.
Just find some like no-name people that went and bought it themselves.
Yeah. LIJUTIC1. That's actually the guy's channel name. He's got a whole 667 subs, so I don't think he got any for free.
Cool.
And then Pocket Guns and Gear did a denim and gel test. Those are the first two that did denim and gel tests. Let's mute the video so I can actually talk while it's playing. He's testing the 105 grain. That's Judic? I don't know. Shooting out of a Glock 27. Somebody else jump in here. We can change the topic for something else.
Let's see. No. .45 Colt is pretty badass.
Oh, hell yeah. Got yourself a Judge or the like. Be a great round in there. Yeah, stop playing around with the chrome. Let's see. I want to see the gel test.
That's only 850 feet per second. 45 Colt.
Oh yeah, it's a big slow round. That's impressive.
I've never shot a 45 Colt handgun or a rifle.
Oh, I have. Handgun, anyway. 454 Casull. The Ruger, what is that, Red Hawk? I can never remember.
I
Name of
think,
the gun.
I think Red Hawk is 40. I think that's a 357.
That's 387?
Yeah. Red Hawk and Black Hawk. Red Hawk's like double action. Black Hawk is single. Single action.
Is it the... I cannot remember the name of that Colt that I shot. That was a 454. I was given 4 45 Colts and 1 454, and he said the 454 is going to come up somewhere in here. I went, okay. First shot, and I'm like, that wasn't so bad. It must have been a 45 Colt, and that was the way. It was the third shot in, right in the middle. It was the 454. I'm like, ow, that hurts.
Wood grips.
Yeah, wood grips.
I need to get some 30 carbine ammo. Bring up my dad's to shoot his M1 carbine.
Ooh.
I'm going to shoot his high power with all 12, 13 rounds. Rub it in Bob's face.
Oh, that's
try the. He just got a Python, so I'm going to try that too.
well, you get to shoot a python. Lucky you.
Oh yeah, you said you didn't have like a lot of rental places around, huh?
There's one place that rents guns around me, yes, and they're all semi-autos. $11 of penetration for this round and this ballistic gel test. And I just want to see him dig that frickin' round out of the gel and actually... The wound track was quite impressive. Whew. Now that is one wicked round. I think Pocket Gears and Gun is the same person as this Ally Jutik one, whatever his name is. Because they're doing basically the same background.
Are they using clear gel?
No, they're using the,
Oh yeah, this is 2 years ago.
yep.
They were like, what's clear gel back then? Or that's expensive.
They're doing a simulated human torso in this one. I'm just looking at the 9mm stuff just because I'm interested in 9mm.
I have so much critical duty that I don't even look at 9mm defense rounds that much. I bought too much of that.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. Critical Duty is supposed to be an expanding round after it goes through, hard barriers.
Yeah.
Iraqi Vet showed that it doesn't really expand through hard barriers.
Let me see. Let me read my box. See if it says anything.
But I wasn't worried about that. I just wanted a heavier weight bullet for going through leather, winter jackets and sweatshirts and.
Yeah, and it's all 135 grain that I have.
Yeah, 135.
I should try trading it or selling it on the local Facebook pages.
Well, it's a nice shooting ammo.
Yeah, I like shooting it. It's just, it's like I pay $30 for a box of 50, so twice the price of range ammo. But
Oh, definitely. I'm not saying that. You should shoot it. I'm just saying it's a nice shooting ammo. I didn't mind shooting it.
I have like 430 rounds of it.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I got them for a deal, though. $2 off each box. I forget what the deal was and why I bought so much.
Yeah, it must have been an extremely good deal. Well, let's see. It's $20 for 25 rounds here. Well, actually 22, I should say, after tax.
Yeah, I stay away from the 20-round boxes.
I would as well. It's just that's all I can get locally. Is that nobody carries 50 rounds locally, and you have to mail order it. And then if I just want a box of 50, I might as well buy 2 boxes of 20, and then be $5 ahead.
Call your local police and be like, "Where do you get your ammo?" There's got to be like a police supply place. Maybe they'll sell that to civilians, even though the police are civilians.
They probably get theirs mail ordered. Well, this guy actually did a fairly decent test. He actually went through pork rib. It was underneath the 4 layers of denim and then into the gel block. Definitely won't want to recover anything from that gel block. Well, it looks like none of them made it through the pork. Or is it beef rib? It's beef rib, but that's probably why it's not making it through, because it's hitting the bone. Yeah, looks like he only had one go into the gel block. Huh.
Yeah, what I liked about the Critical Duty is that it has like no recoil. And the ballistics were good, so I figure if you're in a defensive situation, you're going to want, minimum recoil.
Yeah, for no recoil, then you have to go with the...
But they're still moving pretty good. I mean, I have no idea what goes into the design of these rounds and the powders and stuff. But
yeah, that the Liberty has like the Liberty I was shooting it, and it felt like I was shooting a 22 out of the 9mm.
yeah, that's cool. I wonder what NYPD carries.
Gold dots, 124 green plus P.
They should go to 147.
I don't think it really matters. I mean,
Or do they carry? Yeah, they carry Glock 19s, right? They're not 40 caliber guys.
yep, they're 9mm. At least that's the last I've read. Yeah, Glock 19s and 124 green plus P.
You remember when they shot at the guy in the train station and missed him?
Well, they completely missed him and everybody around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, bystander 50 feet away, you got shot. Well, that's what happens when you put a frickin' 10-pound trigger in your Glocks.
Yeah, they got like everything working against them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen enough, enough of the videos out there where, the cop basically, in fear for his life, just empties his magazine and, as fast as he can pull the trigger, the magazine's empty.
Yeah. Well, I've read in a lot of self-defense situations that are, I don't know. Let me see if I can find the article. Or it's a video of a cop talking about a lot of people just fire until their gun's empty. But then I see a couple of videos where they capture self-defense shootings on tape, and it's like the statistics. It's like 1 to 3 shots. So I think this cop is just talking about himself and some buddies.
Yeah. Well, no, I've seen the videos with the cops, shooting a guy, and it's, what's in a 22?
What? A
Is that
Glock 22?
rounds?
12 or 13?
13, whatever. Yeah, I can't remember. I thought it was 14 or something like that. But you can see that after he'd run empty, you could still see his finger trying.
Oh, the 22? Yeah, the 22 is full size. You might be right.
Yeah, you could still see him trying to make more rounds go off, even though the gun was empty. It was like you could see his finger like move 3 more times before it registered his gun was empty. Yeah, I don't blame the cop in that video too. I mean, the guy fired at him first. Well, I actually had that was it yesterday or the day before? It was on yesterday's news, though. There are some people from Sheboygan, Michigan, robbers that came down here and robbing places. And they got in a high-speed chase with the cops that ended with, basically a shootout. The two robbery suspects weren't killed. So either the police, they're not telling a whole bunch about, the shooting part of it. Either the police, got them down on the ground, or just were bad shots, and just were missing. In a situation like that, you lead the, police officer on a high-speed chase, and then, finally you go over spike strips, and you come to a halt, and you get out of your car shooting. I would not blame the police officers for emptying their mags into those suspects.
That's what they're trying to do.
Yep. Oh, you hear about the, that guy that goes around basically giving away $100,000 away every year in $100 bills? Different people?
No, I wish I knew that guy.
Well, you've heard that story, though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, this year he went to at least one police station, and we're giving cops, $1,000 to hand out on the street. So they just pull somebody over without, you're getting a speeding ticket, or they didn't know why they're getting pulled over, and the cops were able to hand them a $100 bill.
That's pretty awesome.
That was pretty cool. I was like,
it's a misuse of authority, but it's all right. They give you money.
yeah, misuse of authority, and the reactions of people that were getting filmed when they were handed the money was pretty amazing too.
I'd be like, what is going on?
Why am I getting pulled over? I'm only going 2 over the limit. Or in my case, it's normally 3 over the limit in city driving. But I've been careful because all this week they've had stings out. I'll be doing that through the weekend and next week as well. Because here in Wisconsin we've had 490 deaths on the road. That's accident-related deaths this year, which is down significantly, which is nice.
It's almost like we should ban cars or something.
Yeah, well, in this state, that's an awesome number. It dropped. I can't remember. There was 600 and some last year. So dropping, 100. That's quite a bit. You think about I average out to about 1.5 a year, or 1.5 a day. Die on the road. Due to an accident. Better than 2012 in Chicago. You can imagine more people are shot in Chicago in 2012 than died on the roads this year in Wisconsin.
In Wisconsin? Like shot
Yeah.
in Wisconsin?
No, 490 accident, or 490, that's what the sign said today when I was driving. 490 killed by an accident this year, on the roadway. Vehicular, there we go, that's what I was looking for.
So I'm saying ban cars and roads. Roads are fucking evil.
I can't tell you the number of shooting deaths this year in the state. I don't think there's any numbers out on that, but I'm guessing throughout the whole state it's got to be less than that. At least by bad guys.
We have Philadelphia, so that's like an average number for the year in just that city. I think we had the highest in 2010 or something. It was like hit the 500 mark or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, I always forget about Philadelphia. Basically New York West. When New York City was cleaning itself out, all the bad guys went to Philadelphia instead.
Yeah. Well, they did kind of the same thing. Not really. I mean, Center City didn't really need cleaning up, but there was a street called Broad Street in Philadelphia that needed cleaning up. They did this like graffiti cleanup campaign, and then kind of cracked down on that area. Still fucked up area. But
yeah.
It's nice. It's nicer to look at now.
Yeah, I have been driven through some of the bad areas, but this is back in the 90s in Milwaukee. It's not nearly as bad as Chicago. But, seeing the beer truck during the, middle of the frickin' day, delivering beer to a liquor store that's all, barred up as well. The beer truck had to have a private security guard.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Deliver beer in like a Brinks truck.
Yeah, short semi. Or a short truck, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But having a security guard while you deliver beer. And I realized I was in the wrong neighborhood. Back before there was GPS, you're just like, I know this road goes north and south for a while. It'll eventually take me to where I want to go.
Did you ever see the movie Judgment Night?
No.
It was Emilio Estevez and Cuba Gooding Jr. And they're like going to a boxing match or something, and they take the wrong exit because he's like trying to take a shortcut, and they rented this Winnebago or bus or something. It's been a while, but they get lost, and then they start getting like I guess they witness a murder, and then they start getting chased by these guys, and Dennis Leary is the leader of the bad guys.
Dennis Leary?
It's a pretty cool movie. I liked it back in the day. I haven't seen it in a while. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, that's got to be a 90s.
But it's like so unrealistic. There's like nobody on the streets. It's like an abandoned city, except for these guys that are running away and these guys that are chasing them.
Yep. This is my first memory of Chicago. My grandmother, family members, all lived in the Racine area, which is just south of Milwaukee, if those that don't know. And I remember one summer being taken to, the museum, so we took the Amtrak train down there, down to Chicago, and then we got into a cab to go to I can't remember the historical museum. I can't remember what it's called. To see, all the different cool stuff there. I remember this, I was like 8 or 9 at the time, at the oldest. And being in the back of the cab and seeing, just bums laying on the, out on the, sidewalk, and not stopping at any stoplights or stop signs.
Yeah. In Philadelphia, you can definitely walk around Center City and watch bums sleeping on the grates that with the steam coming out of them. So they're all nice and warm. Yep. They're like cats. They might fall asleep under your cars. The engine is warm.
I didn't know why the cabbie wasn't stopping, or what the bums were doing. I didn't know they were bums at 8 years old. Back then, growing up in a very rural area of the where I lived up here in Brown County, so it was a completely new experience for me. I didn't understand. The only thing I remember is them paying $50 to the cab driver and telling him to keep the change. This is back in the late 70s. And sadly, I've driven through the Illinois area too many times, and I actually took the wrong exit and ended up in Gary, Indiana. Kind of like Yankee when I was stopped at a stoplight when I was trying to turn around and get back on the interstate. I'm like, oh God, I hope nobody tries to carjack me. It was pretty scary there. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be spending Christmas up here this year. If the weather pattern holds out like it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be extremely windy and snowing Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Which is going to suck. Because the high temperatures are going to be in the very low 30s, like, 34 maybe is the high temperature. If it's snowing, it's going to melt, causing ice, and, oh, don't need that. Oh, well.
Yeah, the homeless on South Street were the best.
Yeah, now I don't even want to go into Milwaukee because I hear that they're having a big, huge panhandler problem in Milwaukee right now. So I really don't need a bottle of piss sprayed on my windshield and being wiped off with newspaper.
So you gotta pay him to stop. Like, no, here, take it out.
No, here, take a bullet. I was in fear for my life, officer. I'm kidding, folks. I won't go to Milwaukee just like I won't go to Chicago.
You don't know if there's AIDS in that pee. Could be AIDS pee.
There you go.
Yeah, Robbie's right. Hepatitis. No charge. It's on the house.
Hepatitis, yeah. But I was almost a half a tank of gas, so I filled up today. And it was 236.9.
Yeah, Edge posted a picture yesterday or something. 209, where he's at. It's like, what? My shit's not that cheap yet. It's like 250.
Yeah, it was the only station, it was the one I go to, and then I had a 4 cents off a gallon coupon, so. You go to Mills Fleet Farm, they have attached gas stations. If you go in the store and buy something, they give you 4 cents off a gallon coupon. They also do that if you return something, so you can, sometimes I buy something I don't need. Where I forgot, you ever have that thing where, like, crap, I need this for this project? You thought you had it, and then you go out and buy it, and then you come home and you find it right away?
Hepatitis Q is quick acting, so you don't want that. That's what the Q stands for.
Oh.
Where is everybody? Why are they such pansies out there?
Pretty much.
Six String, I haven't seen him in a chat.
For quite
Weeks.
a while. Yeah. But 8 gallons of gas was just over $18 with my coupons. I was like, dang, that's not bad. But I realized that I'm going, it's $236.9. It should be like $1.50.
Yeah, you're not going to get too far, Dr. No, if you don't speak Ebola in the city. Ebola.
Ebola.
the hell is the real word for that? Ebonics.
Ebonics, yeah, Ebonics. I'm too white to talk in Ebonics. Whoops. Cat's having nightmares. His tail's going like crazy in the sleep.
Fistful of Polymer is playing Barbie Adventure. He said, sorry, he can't join.
Playing Barbie Adventure.
Yeah.
Sadly, he doesn't have any kids.
He's playing Insurgency.
They're playing Chutes and Ladders with my adult friends. Just guess one of those nights. I wonder if Edge is going to get any panelists. I don't know what his topic is either, so that's not helping.
He said it was going to be political.
Ah, political, that could be interesting. Because they had the appeals, yeah, you heard the appeals court strikes down federal gun law as unconstitutional.
Oh, yeah, for the veterans?
No, it's,
Oh, the mentally...
yeah, mentally...
that was another article I read that said, that was hoping it would change the veteran gun ban or whatever the hell. I don't know what the bill or the law is actually called, but keeps like people from being diagnosed with post-traumatic stress syndrome from buying guns.
And did you hear this? An Australian lawmaker, our gun controls laws create a nation of victims.
Yeah.
Which is very true. So that's another one. But one I found, I get these through Patriotic Outdoor News. They sent me an email. And one of the funniest ones is claim squirrels cause climate change.
From what? Farting? Squirrel farts? They tried to blame cows on that.
I'm reading the article. I haven't read the article. I just read the title. Arctic ground squirrels and beavers both contribute to carbon emissions by burrowing into the frozen soil to make their homes, treading up the soil. Feces and urine from the rodent fertilizes soil, encouraging decomposition of biological matters that have been locked in suspended animation by the frost, releasing greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Nigel Golden, an ecologist at the University of Wisconsin who took part in this project, told the BBC that ground temperatures around the rodents' burrows were higher than the surrounding areas.
What was that?
That basically that the area around a ground squirrel's burrow is warmer than areas where they don't have, which makes perfect sense.
And who cares if it causes climate change? Seems natural to me, huh?
Hey, they're causing climate change, just not to the extent that humans do.
Even if humans do it, wouldn't that be natural? I mean, we naturally build shit. We call it man-made, but we're just animals building shit, really. That's natural.
Pretty much.
Fuck them. Sick of that global warming, climate change. It's all a bunch of bullshit, man. You know what really fucks up the climate and changes shit? Volcanoes. Volcanoes.
Oh yeah, volcanoes. Our planet goes through a natural cycle.
I think Krakatoa like fucked up the planet for a few years.
Yeah. By the way, did you hear that the NRA endorsed Martha McSally? Won her Arizona second congressional district race. The Americans for Responsible Solutions, another Bloomberg, backed party spent over $2 million in Arizona, 4 times as much as all the others in the race spent.
Speaking of Arizona, I saw a story today where a farmer, he had to shoot at a Mexican that had 2 fake Social Security cards and 1 fake passport, and he was shooting at him. And this guy in Arizona was shooting at the Mexican guy that was about, I don't know, 50 yards away with birdshot. And he said, "I'll know what I do next time I get slugs." Because he had a double-barrel shotgun. I don't know what kind of pistol the Mexican guy had.
Yeah. I'm just, after reading this article, I'm just come to the conclusion that if Bloomberg endorses you to run for office, you've got about a 9 chance out of 10 of losing. They're doing 90% of the NRA endorsed candidates for federal office won elections.
Well, no one can rally the mad mommies to vote like fucking Bloomberg money. That's just a fact of life. We just need more gun voters out there. That's all.
Well, the thing is, we have a core value that we vote for in elections, and I'm not going to say a single issue, but it's a core issue, which is the Second Amendment. And we, unlike the liberals, will go out and vote because of our core beliefs. Liberals tend to be a little bit more lackadaisical when it comes to, we're anti-gun, but it's raining today, I don't feel like going out and voting. Or it's 3 blocks out of my way, I don't feel like driving that extra 3 blocks and causing that more carbon dioxide into the air. So I'm not going to vote. Or we'll go, there's 10 inches of snow on the ground, and it's still coming. We're going to go out and vote. I know we had the spring election. I know it was just horrible here. It was freezing rain. They're expecting really low turnouts in the area. And this is I can't remember, 6 years ago, 8 years ago, somewhere like that. 6 or 8 years ago. And all basically the conservative side that, at least in my area, we're in, won by a landslide. It was amazing. It was 1 year. When was that? Second Bush term. Remember having to go out and vote, and it was freaking freezing out. This is back when you had to stand in line outside. If there was more than 10 people,
cloth tents.
Yeah, 10 people at a time trying to vote. So they're outside for like 2 hours, freezing, our balls off basically, and like I'm gonna vote. I don't care if I get frostbite. And I see people like they get in line, see it's not moving, and they go, "Oh, it's not worth it." And I heard one person say it's not worth it to vote. Who was running against Bush at that time? Was the midterm? Who was running then?
John Kerry.
No, it was actually Bush's second term. Who was running against Bush in the second?
Oh. I don't know.
All right, yeah. I heard one guy say, it's not worth voting for him. I stand out here for 2 hours.
What's up, Z? You there?
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Thank God. Not that Moon's not interesting to talk to. I'm just running out of topics.
Did you guys already cover that? What is it? Went to committee today. House Bill 5344, the body armor thing.
Nope.
Yeah, I've heard about it a little.
I think they started earlier this year with it, and then there was another update on it kind of back in July, and then I think I posted it on Gun Channel's main or homepage or whatever. I was reading today.
I saw it there.
And I think it's going to committee. Now, I was talking to some people around here, and actually, surprisingly enough, I found a few people that may or may not, can neither confirm nor deny, may have body armor. Since it is legal to own out here, and everybody that I was talking to, they didn't really think that, especially with the changes coming up, or the shift from Democrats to Republicans, that it's going to be an issue. But if it's in committee now, I don't think that it could go through by the end of the year or anything crazy like that. But,
no, they break. They've already broke for winter break.
Well, then how did it go to committee today? Let me double check on that.
Well, I'm talking about by now they broke for winter break.
Yeah, but I'm saying they were saying it was yesterday or whatever that it went to committee.
Yeah, well, you know what it is. They break right now. Winter break starts Friday basically, because they're not going to come back and just go back to work for 2 days.
And you know what I know?
The Responsible Body Armor Act
Yes.
or some shit.
Yes. Wait a minute. Hold on.
That's right. Everybody should be responsible and buy body armor.
I think so. I'm not trying to cause a buying panic or anything.
Get your body armor now before it's illegal.
Well, the other thing is, it did say that it, at least so far with the writing of it, that it would be grandfathered in. I mean,
yeah, it would have to be. I mean, there's so much.
I just don't see
so
that
much of it out
passing.
there.
I just don't see that passing because you got soft body armor, which is, I would say, difficult for the average person to make. But you buy yourself a plate carrier group without the plates, so then you get some steel and you cut it up.
It might be illegal to manufacture it afterwards.
yeah, that's the whole thing. It'll be illegal to have. Oh man, I'll find that article again. But yeah, they were.
That would
definitely.
be whack. That doesn't even sound right.
Right.
Oh, I agree.
You can accidentally make an armor plate or have some
Right. You buy yourself some AR
metal laying
500.
around.
Yeah, AR 500 target steel.
Okay. Now this is what I got on Popbox. I don't know whether that's relatively accurate or not. The sponsor is the Representative Michael Honda, Democrat from California, introduced back in July. No surprise there, right? So far, according to their poll, it is 3% approve and 97% oppose. Yeah, exactly. But this is Popbox, so I don't know. But you are correct, Cork. The 113th Congress has adjourned. So it is to prohibit the purchase, ownership, or possession of enhanced body armor by civilians with exceptions. Um, blah, blah. Ban on purchase, ownership, or possession, except as provided in subsection B, blah, blah. Of course, under the authority of the United States or any department or agency of the United States, of course, they're exempt. A state or department agency, or political subdivision of a state, of course.
That's what they mean by responsible.
So, in other words, they're saying, I mean, I might be reading it wrong, that basically your local, state, and then federal law enforcement, and maybe a few exceptions to that, you know, like FBI and all that, but that, I guess that counts. Enhanced body armor means body. The term enhanced body armor means body armor, including a helmet or shield, the ballistic resistance of which meets or exceeds the ballistic performance of Type 3 armor, determined by using the NIJ standard.
Yeah. Well, here's my question. You know, except for police and federal, etc. Now, what about police that are off duty working the second job as a security officer?
I think that because I think they could wear it. You know what I mean?
They're not acting in an official capacity.
Yeah, but see, the fact is that you use the term security guard. If they were stacking groceries or something like that, I would say then no, probably not. But they might be able to get an exception for bonded security guards or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. So the only way you could be a security guard and be able to wear body armor then would be to be an off-duty police officer.
What about private contractors and stuff like that?
You see, that's why this law is a whole bunch of BS.
Yeah. That's why I don't think. I agree. I don't think that it's going to pass. But at the same time, I don't particularly happen to have any body armor at this point. And I think that it would behoove me before I go spend money on other things. Granted, it's probably going to sit in a rig in the closet, but
actually, if it's soft body armor, it should be laid flat.
Well, yeah, but I was thinking, I was definitely thinking 3 as opposed to 3A, but not convinced yet either.
So soft.
Soft is 3A, but well, and actually they do make some hard plate that is
that goes up to 44 meg.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the 3 goes up to 308.
No.
Yeah. And do you guys see what Liberty ammo does to soft body armor?
No.
Well, it has I think I've seen a video of that. It tears it up pretty good. So imagine what your rip ammo is going to do to it then.
So if you're talking about like a shit hits the fan kind of setup, I would go with plate carrier.
Yep.
With ceramic, mostly with if it's got like side panels and stuff, and then front and back, I would go steel, the AR-500.
Cool.
But that's just me. Because I would want the front and back to be, because I always think of that scene in Black Hawk Down when the guy gets shot in the back. He forgot his plate carrier.
Oh.
Or he forgot his plate, his back plate. So I would definitely want something steel for a back plate and front.
Would you consider going up to level 4 then, which does up to 30-06 and armor piercing?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. How much heavier is that?
And that's the thing. It's a little bit, it is, depending if we're talking pounds and who's making it and stuff like that. Like,
I just want to I want to know this. What about all those reenactors that wear, suits of armor?
That's
Oh, yeah.
that's not bulletproof armor, and it does not meet up to the level 3. So right there, that would be fine.
They're like walking around in big aluminum cans.
Well, if you think
No.
about it, even the conquistadors actually, they still wore the chest plate or the breastplate, whatever you want to call it, when they were still wielding swords and using either flintlocks or matchlocks.
Yeah, the
You'd be
chainmail and stuff like
surprised,
that.
authentic.
It's heavy.
I forgot what the authentic real stuff is actually pretty decent at, stopping most handgun calibers. You need a lot more. Yeah.
When you say
that's it.
most, do you mean like 9mm or?
Like 9mm, 40, 38s. I don't think it stops like a 44, but I mean, what most people carry.
I gotcha.
At least I saw a video on them doing that. Because they're talking about how effective this was, even during the the days of flintlocks.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And those were shooting a 68 grain bullet or a 68 grain what was it 68 caliber? Excuse me, 68 caliber.
Yeah. Ball. And it was stopping the balls. They looked like a golf ball when they got done. But yeah, the only way to really penetrate that armor was with a crossbow because of the tremendous force behind that heavy bolt. Well, and it comes to a point. That was the other thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got to remember, most bullets don't come to a nice point; they just come to a nice round point,
So in this holiday season, do you just try and scope deals? I think somebody had gotten a Banshee rig out there. I'm not sure, but I wanted to double check because I was reading the AR500 page and they were saying it takes up to 10 weeks, and I just wanted to know if that was an accurate lead time. If anybody out there in the chat might know, or if anybody in here.
What's that again?
The AR500, if you go to like their webpage, I'll get you a link here.
Cool.
And some of it's definitely reasonably priced, but they were saying on the web page that it is a 10-week lead, and I was just wondering if if anybody out there might know that to be the case.
can't tell you yes or no.
Yeah. Yes, and Dr. No, I was checking out Bulletproof Me earlier today as well. Bulletproofme.com. That's another one.
The problem with the ceramic, even ceramic aluminum powder mix plates is that it just can't take repeated shots.
Well, that's I think why Moon was saying he just wanted it on the sides as opposed to in the front or back.
I mean, it can't even, if you fall down hard on your side, it can even crack the plate set, and then all of a sudden you just, carry around extra weight.
Well, how about
it
this?
becomes pretty ineffective as stopping bullets.
Yes and no.
How about if it's sprayed with that stuff and it makes it harder to break?
When they do that Line-X stuff, it helps with the spalling.
Yeah, so the ceramic, it would make it harder to break.
Oh,
it wouldn't break apart.
If you just fell on it. Now, I have heard people say that they've pulled their plates out of the plate carrier and dropped them and had issues that way.
Yep.
What kind of plates are you guys talking about?
So the ceramic plates.
Oh.
Do you have any armor, Kisan?
Nope.
Is it a plan? Is it on the list?
It is, but then that means I gotta buy a plate carrier and a whole new setup and everything.
Check this link I just put out in the side.
On the
Yeah,
side.
no,
Yeah, in the
you've
inside.
I
seen-
didn't see it. I think it was too late to.
And you've seen Keeson before. I can
Oh.
see him lugging around 500 AR armor. You'd be like falling over.
What are you talking about? Keeson's a big boy.
Dude, I'm a big boy. I'm 6'1".
He's like 7. Oh.
I wish I was 7 foot.
It makes doorways tough.
His head's like 7 foot
My
wide.
head's
Yes,
7 foot wide.
That is possible.
That's true. I'm not Daniel. You get me confused with Daniel. Daniel is smaller than me, way smaller than me. But
I know. I was kidding of Keeson.
I'm gonna say I don't know. I've been looking at that Banshee plate carrier.
That one is
That
on
was
this.
a good one.
Yeah, that's definitely on. It's going for about. It looks like 365.
I know you guys don't like him, but the Nothing Fancy review of that one that floats, the one that is
DKX.
DKX, that one's a good looking one. I've been looking at that one. It's only like, was it 8 pounds or something like that?
Oh, it's even less, dude.
Oh,
It's
I
even
thought.
less. He was saying in that video that the steel plates were the AR-500s were 8 pounds apiece.
Oh,
Those DKXs are like 3.
oh yeah. I've been looking at those ones. Those ones look.
But
nice.
that was the 3. That was the 3A. That only goes up to 44 mag. Those ones that he was saying were 3 pounds. When he shows the bigger ones that look almost like a cushion seat you sit at the stadium with.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
He said
And
that they could stop rifles, but you'll get trauma. Like, you know what I mean, you'll get like cratering, like, you know what I mean, like probably broken ribs or something. But your life will be saved. That's what I think they were talking about.
Well, he was talking about that when he was talking about the other soft armor that he had, and then
Oh.
he's talking about putting a trauma plate in front of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But those DKX ones, the one that goes up to 308, it is thicker, and you have to get. I think there's a few specific plate carrier models you probably only get to choose from, whereas you go with the other stuff like the AR-500. There's tons and tons and tons.
Yeah,
and
ton of options. I was looking at those ones, and those ones were pretty cool. But the thing is that it floats and it's lightweight. You know.
That was the whole thing that I thought was interesting, is that it floats and it was very light. Like they only might have been 4 or 5 pounds for the big ones.
We'll check.
I was gonna say.
Why don't you just start wearing phone books, on the front and back?
It's 2.9. It's 2.9 ounces, 9 pounds for a 10 by 12 plate, and it's level 3 certified. Double shooter's cut, so it tapers up top.
What
You got
threat
a link
level is a phone book?
That
What threat level is a phone book?
well, how are you
Oh.
gonna toss it in a plate carrier? What are you gonna do? Duct tape
No,
around it?
Yeah.
I know.
No, you make your own. You just duct tape.
I would go with 2 or 2A. I bet. I mean, honestly.
Well, they shot 30-06 at it on Mythbusters, and it stops like about midway.
I can tell you right now, a wax slug will go through 4 inches of phone book, no problem.
Really?
I saw that on Talflater
Yeah.
mouth.
You're talking about an ounce of lead.
They did it with 30-06, and it stopped it. Dude, all you gotta do is just jump in the water, dive like 8 feet, and you're good, right?
Well,
Wasn't it
if
6
you're-
feet?
if you're wearing the DKX, it floats, so you're not diving down.
Yeah, you're screwed. No, I
But
think it was less than 8 feet. I think it was like only like I think it was 8. Well, like, they tested it or whatever. Like was it a 12-foot deep pool?
Yeah, 50 BMG just breaks up.
It just shatters. It just disintegrates. Even though 30-06 and all that stuff too.
The slower moving ammo, like 45.
It's still all it does is just travels like 2 feet and then it just sinks down. After it hits water, it depletes its energy and it becomes just like a lead weight.
Well, it depletes its energy because it doesn't compress.
Yes, I know. That's what I'm saying. It displaces is all its energy.
Yep. I think it was. Yeah, you just had to dive like 6 feet underwater. I think that was.
What's his name? Was it Guns 111? Right? He did his video on like the gun myth, like where they were watching like Arrow or something, and like they were hiding behind pallets or whatever. I'm like, man, you know what you should do? All you gotta do is just get those pallets and just put like phone books after phone book, inside of it, and you're pretty much set, like a barricade.
That's what you want to count on? I don't know if that's what I want to count on.
I don't know.
You want to know how well bullets stop?
I'd rather be packing
And-
bags of sand.
Oh, that's true. Sand is probably the best option.
Sand's better, but I'm saying, phone books, they're all over the place. You run out of phone books, you can use the Bible.
Yeah, but if you're hiding, I think
There's
his
the Holy
point was
Spirit
if
on
you're
my
hiding-
side.
I think the point that Guns of 111 was trying to make was that if you're trying to take cover and it's behind pallets and you think that you stand a chance, you're not going to be putting phone books in there while you're seeking cover.
Yeah, that's
You
true. I'm just saying, like, really.
Yeah.
You're not actually
Now-
going to get that much cover from. I never watched the video, so what was his results? Because
Oh,
No,
yeah,
they were making fun of the TV shows, like, was it called Arrow? Where they're like the
Yeah, it was Arrow.
like the superhero and like the heroes are like all hiding behind, like, hiding behind like what is it, behind the pallets, and they're getting blocked by like the AK rounds, and then then instead of the target, like hero target behind like a pallet, and they shot at it, and then
with an AK,
With an
and he
AK.
put fucking holes in that paper like nobody's.
like when they had a slide fire stock, I think,
Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
had a slide fire. I forget which one they had, a slide fire or a real automatic one.
Thought it
Damn.
was a slide fire, but
I
I
thought
don't
it was a
remember.
slide fire. I think it was a slide fire, but I forget because he has that one guy that hooks him up with the DDIs,
Oh yeah.
or DD.
Keith-san, thanks for bringing that up. Because I saw a guy actually, he called it bump firing, but he wasn't using any special stock on an AK-74.
You can just bump fire with like your hand and just pulling the grip forward. I've seen guys where they just they don't even use like their belt or anything. They can still do it like with their two hands.
Yep.
Or they just pull forward and like, do.
yeah, there's a whole like militia channel devoted to bump firing.
Was it Coke Man? What's his name? Coke Man, whatever. That guy who's kind of like on air or whatever, live troll or whatever. Yeah, with the really nice crinks and all that stuff. SBRs. He does that. What's his name? Coke Man something.
Yeah, I forget.
Well, I think, the AK-74 would be awesome to bump fire because, it's a lower recoiling round.
Yeah, he like the guy like he does it with his crink, and you can
My
just
point though is bump firing. What are you trying to lay down suppressive fire? Is that all you're
Pretty
trying to
much.
do?
Yeah,
You're not
pretty
gonna-
much.
you might not even be in the area if you do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right now, well, I've been looking at that. Was it TACCON 3 trigger, whatever that the whatever.
You ever seen this channel with the militia and the bump fire? This guy dresses up like Bruce Lee, and they reenact like old war scenes or something.
Start bump firing.
That's pretty crazy.
I'll see if I still have it in my video history.
Talking about like good gun fight scenes, I've been looking at The Patriot. I saw it on TV the other day. Man, I could just watch that for so long.
Is that the one with sugar tits in it?
The Patriot?
Yeah.
That is what Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that's sugar tits.
Oh,
You don't remember when he went nuts and he was talking
no.
to the cop that had pulled him off?
about the Jews and all that stuff, and
Yeah, that guy.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I put the video in the internal. I mean, at the end of the video, you can actually see the foregrip was actually just bubbling. Whatever paint, their lacquer, whatever they're using, it was just bubbling off.
What's that one guy's name? Oh yeah, that's Coke Man. Beforehand, he used to have a channel called Coke Man. Yo says,
Yeah, his name's now it's TMH on Fire 102.
I want to say, what's that one guy's name? Yeah, that's his crink or whatever, but what was I gonna say? Shit. Well, talking about like that wood stock bubbling up. What's his name? Weapons. What's his name? Vorvin, whatever blog. That guy.
Verwappen?
Verwappen. He did a video where he like shot his AR like constantly, and then the Magpul MOE stock caught on fire.
Yeah, because it gets hot and it's plastic. I've seen guys get AK wood to
Yeah.
smoke, you know? but they had to shoot a lot of fucking rounds through it.
Yeah, they had this guy I seen this when YouTube like first started. Remember that guy who had like 3 75-round drums? He was just like do 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 do. And then he's the guy that has his grandma in like a wheelchair that has an MP40.
Nice.
This is like
That's awesome.
this is why when like YouTube first started. I don't know if you remember that, but there's a guy like he has like NFA items, and then his grandma like seriously this like lady like she looks like she's like 90 years old and like white gray curly hair and stuff, and she's in a wheelchair and she pulls out like the MP40 starts shooting it. I'm gonna go look for that video.
There you go.
I think this channel got deleted or they got rid of it or something.
The MP40 guy?
No, the militia.
The militia.
Yeah.
Like this is the guy I was talking about. I think it got reposted, but there's like the grandma with the MP40 shooting it.
I just think that's a great thing in general.
I'm gonna look in gun channel.
Oh, I think I found it. Yeah, this is. I think so.
Don't fuck with G-Ma. She will light you up, cracker.
You see how high the muzzle rises though?
I just like the smile she's kind of got on her face. I mean,
Dude. I'll do geekly too if I got an MP40 like that.
That video is hilarious.
That's the same guy where he has like an AK and he like has like 3 75-round drums and he just unloads there or something like that and just starts catching on fire, and he throws it onto like a wood pile.
Oh yeah, this is it, man. No, you don't like.
This is like when YouTube, I think it got reposted, but it says 5 years ago. But this, I remember when this like first came out, everyone was like all watching it.
so no, are you saying that like have an actual 3 or a 4 plate, and then have the 3A soft behind it? Is kind of how you're saying, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you're doing steel, the difference between a 3 and a 4 is a lot of weight.
Okay, I thought I had heard that.
Yeah, it's not thickness, it's weight. If you're doing ceramic, the difference between a 3 and a 4 is thickness.
Okay, that makes total sense.
So sometimes you want to be a little bit more discreet, and sometimes you don't care. So since you really should run a trauma plate behind steel anyway, I think if I remember right, it was like $150 for a pair of trauma pads, and it was like $260 for 3A backers. So at that point in time, you have soft 3A, which you can put behind a 3 steel, which gives you 4, or you could put it behind a 3 ceramic, which will give you 4, or you can go straight 4 ceramic, which, like I put in the internal, they start at around $200 and you can go up to like $3,000. And the whole thing there is weight versus thickness as far as the ceramic plates go. And plus the other thing you have to consider is if you want something you can just stash and toss around, steel makes more sense. Ceramic has a shelf life, and ceramic you can't really abuse that much.
Right.
So, that's a consideration too. So if you want something that you're tossing in the back of a truck, a 3A backer with a AR-500 plate is going to be a little bit heavier, but it's really got no abuse thing. And then the soft armor has a shelf life too, but it's not as bad as the ceramic.
Would a 3A hard and a 3A soft, does that make a 3? You know what I mean?
I do not know. You can check out. I don't think they add up that way off the
Yeah,
top of my head.
I didn't think so either.
That's
'cause
some Orwellian
that's like saying
bullshit.
if I use 3 2As, does that give me like a 6?
No. Yeah.
But bulletproofme.com has the different ways you can get certain levels of protection. It gives you their thickness, it gives you their weight, and it gives you the price break. So it could be like if you want 4, you can do it with a straight up ceramic 4. It'll cost X. It'll be 3/4 of an inch thick, and it'll weigh X number of pounds. Or you could do it with a 3A backer and a 3 plate, and it'll be X thick and weigh X and cost this much. So that way you can tailor your protection and your budget and like what you want to do. Because if you want to wear a vest under regular clothes, you're not going to get away with concealing, a 3/4 inch ceramic plate.
Nope. Or yeah, like you were saying, I know that they make the conceal in the soft with 3A, so you could even just in your carrier have 3A AR 500 and still be wearing your conceal softy underneath. I don't know if that would be good or bad, but it would also be another way. The other nice thing is if you have both of those plates in and you're whatever the situation dictates, you might be able to take the hard plates out if you were just, I guess, worried about getting shot by a pistol.
Exactly. I mean, and that's the whole point. Is if you're just looking to stick, hard armor in a carrier with pouches on it, like a Banshee rig or something like that, and have something, all loaded up like a sort of go bag type of thing, that's one thing. But if it's something that you're going to use like to train, or you're going to actually wear it on the street or something like that, then you have that flexibility. You can take the same carrier, which is why I don't run pouches. You can take the same carrier, yank the hard plates out, and still have 3A protection.
So what do you guys? You guys talking about body armor? Do you guys think that there is a need for like a helmet, like wearing
I think a face
Kevlar-
mask.
Kevlar type
Shot in the
helmets or
face.
anything like that?
Well, is there a need for a helmet when?
Like,
when
would you, if you were to
when
buy,
go bed,
if you were to invest all this money in like body armor, would you want to buy like a helmet or anything also, or
I want one of them Army of 2 face masks.
Army of 2?
With the
Oh,
skull.
I know what you're talking
Folk
about,
on it.
dude. That thing is awesome.
And I guess some of the back of the head protection, right?
Would you want to get like a Kevlar style helmet or anything like that, or?
Well, it depends. It depends on what you want. What do you want the body armor for? If you want the body armor for the end of the world, people are going to be shooting AP308 at me. Then yeah, I would say a helmet's going to be part of the kit there, and you're one of the dogs of war. It's like, would you want one? I don't know.
I would want one.
Okay, so you
You
want
probably
one.
wish you had one.
Don't
Yeah.
forget, you're going to need that ballistic cup, too. So,
What was that?
Yeah, you don't want to get shot in the nuts.
no, exactly. So you
Bleed
need
out.
your ballistic, your bulletproof cup.
I used to have this level 2, like, I think it was early 90s body armor vest. And it was soft, but it had a plate, a level 3 plate on the chest. And it also had this, I forget what material it was, but it was real thin and cheesy, and it went over the groin area. And I guess that was supposed to help with spalling or whatever. I don't know. But I always thought that was weird. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like big
I've definitely seen
white
some of the.
body armor.
Yep.
If you go to Bulletproof Me, they have the what do you call them? I can't think of the name of it, but basically speaking, it's like an entire jumpsuit, like almost like a bomb squad looking suit that goes from between your legs all the way up, like shoulders, arms, throat, neck, chest, like a full frag suit.
That's crazy. you gotta weigh the you gotta balance it out there a little.
Absolutely. I mean,
Can't
you
be
know.
running.
They do
Yeah.
make
You'll just be a guy laying on the ground getting shot in your body armor.
they do
You
make
can't fucking move.
Yeah, I was gonna
3A
say at that point
protector.
you're what's his name from A Christmas Story?
Ralph's little brother,
Yeah, I can't think of his,
Ralphie. Ralphie's.
I can't think of his
No,
name.
Ralphie is the older brother.
I was gonna say I said Ralphie's little brother.
Yeah, his little brother. What's his name?
I can't get up. I can't get up.
No, you just said
I can't put my arms down.
I forget his name.
Oh, it's driving me crazy.
Just Google. I'm googling you right now.
There you
And
go.
the
Yeah,
other
Google it.
and the other thing too is well, you know, unless you've ever worked with AR 500 armor, you're not exactly going out and buying an AR 500 armor and hammering it into shape in your garage. So the way that law is written, from what I understand, isn't it level 3 and up that they're banning?
Meets or exceeds, yep.
Yeah. So if you get a 3A soft, then you can get a set of AR plates or whatever, and if you should feel that you need, you know, armor at least at that 3A soft level, you're still in compliance.
Well, and that was one of the things that we were talking about earlier. Is like if you have it now, it's grandfathered in, which is a good thing, I believe.
I didn't really pay attention to it. I just heard you guys mention it in the chat because I don't think that's going to pass at all. That's
I don't think it will either, but I would rather, if I have the ability, to err on the side of having it than not having it, I guess.
I don't blame you. You know, but at that point in time, who's to say whether it's a body armor or a target?
His
Oh, I agree
name
with
was
that.
Randy. Randy. I just
There
thought
you
of it.
go.
You know,
And
if
I
I
would
take
agree with that.
if I take front and rear plates and spray paint a target on them, then it's just a silhouette target.
In essence, yeah.
So would you go with the curved?
Yes,
I would, yeah.
absolutely. Target, I think it's Target Man. I'm not sure. But they have a new triple curve plate. I haven't tried them at all. I don't know anybody that has them. But you absolutely go curved.
What's going on, guys?
What's
How much
up,
are you
man?
doing?
Nada. Oh, and I prefer the what they normally call either the swimmer's cut or the shooter's cut.
Oh, yeah.
Will fit way more carriers than the other
The big
shapes.
rectangle.
Mhm.
The big
Yeah.
rectangle.
Yeah.
Even if the carrier is rectangle shaped, that thing's going to come in and out easier if you got the shooter's cut. And plus, like I was watching a James Yeager video, and he made a good point. It's like, if you can't bring your arms together around your firearm, well then it's not going to help you out at all.
Exactly,
No,
and
at all.
that's where the curved comes into play, the shooter's cut comes into play, and the other thing is not everybody, but most people that I see, they wear them too low, and they hang too much stuff off the bottom of them. Okay, so you know, that's like I said, I run plate carrier alone, and I run it up high, and then you know, whatever I want to run over it, I just run over it with straps. Plus the other thing too is bulletproofme.com is here in Austin. So
Nice.
yeah, so it works out well for me. But yeah, my carriers are sized to me. They have awesome measuring instructions on the site. Because most people obviously aren't local to them. And the prices are good, and their website's like awesome. And as far as, like I said, the way to combine things to get either the thinnest profile or the lightest weight at the budget that you want.
Yeah, I happen to be looking at this website that we're talking about earlier today before I was on the chat, and I did run across some level 2 police slightly used or whatever, and some of that stuff was unbelievably cheap.
Yeah.
But again, only level 2. It's the conceal stuff where you wear it under your clothes. But there was I was on some Kevlar website a while back, and I do not remember what it is. I might try and look it up. But they were showing some, maybe it was called Ghost Armor. Does that sound familiar to anybody?
Not to me.
All right, let me see if I can.
I think I've heard it before.
Let me see if
Oh
I
no,
can.
that's a phone case.
Let's see.
I sold my level 2 vest to my maintenance guy. So he's
Really?
protected. Yeah. So I was gonna get level 3 soft because it's so cheap now. You can get like level 3 soft for like 200.
And less.
Check out this one right here in the internal. It's $50.
Yeah, I saw those ones on AR 500. They got some crazy looking rigs.
A lot of the last generation ceramics have become like ridiculously cheap. I mean, they're not as, the super light ones now, which you can be in the 3-4 pound range, but in the 5-6 pound range, you're looking at like $200, $190, which is, from 2 years ago, they were probably around $700-800.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed.
I
I
guess
don't
this
really look at it that much though. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no worries. This safeguard with the ghost armor, basically it's almost like build armor. You choose this, you choose that. You can choose spike protection and this and that, and you can really
Oh snap!
you can build yourself a freaking $1,000 rig basically, but it's really only 3A. I thought was what I saw it go up to. But I think the reason they're calling it ghost is because of the trimness, thinness, and I believe it is Kevlar, so it's going on under.
We need to get some of that. What is that? Dragon skin?
Oh yeah,
Dragon scale.
Dragon
scale. Yeah, we need some of that shit.
This thing
I remember
right here,
thinking that
maxed out. Everything maxed out was $156.
Yeah.
They need to start making that impact, like the cornstarch in the water.
Oh, the what is Newtonian fluid thing?
Yeah.
Non-Newtonian fluids.
Yeah, they need to get that down right. That'd be like.
And just some form of container that can hold it.
Yeah, like I said, it's all it's all just such a bunch of ridiculousness, because you have like AR 500 targets who also sells AR 500 armor. So who's to say what constitutes armor and what constitutes a target? So once again, I just think this is like a whole bunch of putting the pressure on and making people worry for no reason, because it's another one of those laws. How the hell are they going to enforce them? Like, seriously. Are they gonna? Are you not gonna be allowed to own steel targets anymore? Not gonna be
Not
able to
only that,
shoot?
but all the people it exempts and all the people it doesn't.
Right. So once again, plates. Well, I know some of the high-end ceramic plates are, but I don't. The bulk of the steel plates that I've seen, they're not serialized in any permanent way. They have a tag on them, but it's like the magazine thing in New York. How are you supposed to prove when you bought it, when you didn't buy it? It's just ridiculous. So when it comes to banning this stuff, how are they going to do it? How are they going to regulate it? They're going to shut down everybody that sells AR-500 steel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like for example,
Those
yes, it's
people
legal
just have to go make targets.
It is legal to own, of course, out here, which is great. But they do have it's added charges basically if you use it in the commission of any crime. So it'd just be like committing a crime and then committing it with a firearm and then committing the crime with the firearm and then wearing body armor. Those are just extra charges that they're going to throw at you at the end.
Same here in this state.
Yeah, I mean that's something they could do anyway. If they have like a law on the books where you commit a felony with body armor and that's an extra charge. I'm pretty sure like that exists in a lot of states already.
Now this
Yes, it
one,
does.
I think you might be able to put a plate in it. Let me see. Check this one out. I think you can put a plate in the front. I think it's got a pocket for it. And then there's your nut protection and whatnot potential
Sweet.
Sweet.
for when they're trying to get you.
Oh yeah. Your nuts are well protected with that one. That's some weird looking camo.
My Secret Santa gift got delivered, and I'm like so giddy. I just want the person just to open it.
Man, I still haven't gotten the Secret Santa gift that I ordered 2 fucking weeks ago to get here yet.
That's all on that out of was it? Whatever.
Well, you know what?
Shipping.
That's true and not true because I've gotten shit from Botach, I've gotten shit from Cabela's, I've gotten shit way faster. I don't know if anybody else has any dealings with LA police gear.
They're slow.
I'm gonna go with they're fucking slow, and I'm a little disappointed.
Did it already ship, or are you waiting for it to be shipped?
Oh no, it's shipped. I ordered it on a Friday, it shipped on a Monday, and now it's 2 weeks from when I ordered it as of today.
Where's the track? Where does the tracker say is at?
Oh, it's somewhere in fucking California.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's probably lost at a sorting facility. They'll find it and say, "Oh, there it is."
Well, I almost feel
my
like,
shit.
and I don't think that calling them or emailing them is gonna do anything for me.
Do justice.
You know that I get stuff from Botac in California faster than I get stuff from like Dallas or Houston.
Well, I like Botach, man. I really do. I've gotten a couple of things from them now, and the pricing is usually reasonable. The shipping is relatively fast for having to come all the way across the ocean, or excuse me, halfway across the ocean.
That's funny because when I order something from Texas, I get it in like a day. Everything else takes at least a week.
No, it's like literally crazy. It's just one of those things, I guess. But I use Botac a lot. They have, if you get on their mailing list, they have a lot of specials. They sell a ton of stuff too. I mean, they sell bicycles, like police bicycles.
Yeah.
But they have relatively good sales, and the price has gone up some now. But their Glock 17 magazines used to be normally between $20 and $24, and every once in a while they would drop down to sub $20. And every time they did, I would buy a handful of them. Now they seem to hover around $24, $25, and they drop down to about $20 a piece.
Yep.
But the last time I bought 33 rounders, I paid $24.99 for them.
Wow. That's a supreme deal.
And they have that make an offer thing now.
Tactical Six String was telling me about that. He said he's gotten even better deals a few times by just throwing a number at him.
Absolutely. Now, like a Glock magazine, you're not going to really score too good there. But if you're looking at obscure stuff or older stock stuff like that, you'd be like amazed at some of the deals. I think DB did one too, and he was like, threw a number at him. But they're good. My opposite is PSA. I did 3 orders with PSA in the last year, and they filled none of them.
Really? And I've heard like 3-week stuff from those guys for
What
delivery.
was it 3 things you ordered?
They had a special on 22 long rifle ammo. They had a special on, I think it was lowers, and I don't even remember what the third thing was.
Did you just get canceled and refunded, or?
Yeah, it was like a month went by. Everybody told me their shipping was slow, so I was like kind of patient. I was in no rush for anything. But like a month goes by, I hear nothing. I email them, and they're like, "Oh, this was a computer glitch. We'll cancel and refund your order. Oh, this was this. We're out of stock now. We'll cancel and refund." And I'm like, I didn't order this stuff so you can cancel and refund it.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
'Cause I know my stuff gets slow. Like they take about. So I ordered it on the 1st, and they didn't ship out until what? The 9th. So I got it on the 16th because I live in Washington. So shit always takes like a week for me to get because I always order from like the East Coast. So but like they messed up on my order. And I just called them up, and I guess they're sending it out all of my pieces. I guess because remember I told you I was gonna try to build that AR-15 on camera, on like a live chat or something like that. But I guess apparently they only sent me the upper and not the lower build kit. So they're sending me my lower build kit.
I mean, their prices may be good. I've heard varying things about their quality, and there's too many other options out there for me to even be bothered with them.
I like them, but again, I would have patience. But then for you, if I was you, I would call them up, like,
Hey man, 3 strikes, you're out. Like I said, they don't
That's
sell
fair,
anything I can't get anywhere else.
I will say they do run some insane deals sometimes, and I can see how you'd want to utilize them, but I can also hear what you're saying. If they've canceled and refunded your shit 2 times already.
That's true.
And plus the other thing too is I just don't like companies that lie. The one contact, like I think it was on like the 22 long rifle, because I have the Advantage Arms 22 conversions and they're real finicky for 22 ammo. So I ordered some, and it was like a couple of weeks went by and I sent them an email, and they're like, "Oh, we found your order. It got lost in the warehouse. We're shipping it out tomorrow. We'll send you the tracking number." So I waited 2 days and I emailed them back. Okay, I didn't get the tracking number yet. Then the story changed to, "Oh, it was a computer error. We're out of stock and the order didn't get filled." I'm like, okay, now you're just lying.
Yeah. I'm just making shit up now.
Yeah, exactly. So the funny part about it is the second email, I guess he was like the manager, so he was like, I'm telling him, so he was like, well, I don't know what you were told before, but this is actually the truth. I'm like, great, so you're in charge of employees that lie. What difference does it make who lied to me? I was lied to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no comment on that. I've always, again, but then, I don't know, fuck.
Hey, I know people that say they've had horrible, horrible experiences with Botac, and from what I understand, like 7, 8 years ago, I guess they were kind of like not so great. But I have never, ever, ever had a bad thing or had something take more than 4 days to get to me from when it was ordered.
Yeah, Daniel's had problems with them because he ordered the Glock mags, and they didn't say they were out of stock. And then when he all of a sudden, like, whatever, he was waiting for them, and he went to go, like, I guess, I don't know where it's like out of stock, back ordered.
Well, I know for a
And
fact
this
when
thing, I
Bowtach
think-
ran that 5 for $100 just a couple, whether it's the Black Friday sale or
A couple
whatever,
months ago. It was before this. It was way before this because we were
they
talking about this.
definitely mentioned that it was the 17 and 19 mags were out of stock at that time when they even ran that special.
I think Daniel bought it like right at the start of it, and it didn't say it was out of stock until afterwards. And then I think he's still waiting on his order. I'm not sure, but I know that he put it in the order and they didn't tell him it was back ordered.
Well, that sucks because they've gotten right back to me on. I think one of the times, like some batteries, they were out of stock on some CR123s. Does that sound right? Is that what you put in your light?
Yeah.
And I had ordered some with the stuff I had ordered, and they were out of it. And literally, it was like I got an email about saying that they were out of it, and then I got the email saying when it had shipped that everything but this had shipped, and then I even called them on it and just to make sure everything was all good. And they were like, yeah, it just happens to be something that we're out of at the moment. Do you want us to update you when it comes in and all this and that? And I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. I'll just keep an eye out, da-da-da-da-da. It wasn't the end of the world. It was like 12 or 15 bucks for like, I don't know if it was 6 or 10 of them.
Yep. I don't know. I think I'm gonna order this TSR 25, but probably give it to like my brother. This $59.99 with the high rise, the AR.
Nice.
High rise mount. Free shipping.
I've had good luck with Damage Industries. I've had good luck with Bowtach. Sort of good luck with Cabela's. I mean, other than they both a few times back they did ship me 30 rounders, and then this last time they said that they would not ship me 30 rounders.
I've never seen a deal from Cabela's. I mean, they're to me they're like the Eddie Bauer of sporting goods.
No, there's back. Okay, so before like Sandy Hook happened, they ran a deal where it was like, forget what it was, but I don't know. It was PMC bronze, and it was like $5.99, but they were like a flat rate, $5 shipping. So like, for a brass case, it was like under $300. I mean, it was $2.99 and then $5 shipping. So it was like, and like they used to do that, like where like you like instead of like you don't have to pay more money for the whatever the UPS ground or whatever. They would do like $5 shipping or like free shipping on so. But now if you look at their shipping, it says like their fine print says exclude ammo.
Yeah.
When you do like the free shipping over so and so.
Between Target Sports USA, SG Ammo.
Yeah, SG Ammo. SG Ammo was my for like AK stuff.
Target Sports, if you order cases, the shipping's free. SG Ammo, their prices are pretty